I'll tell you, it's really weird reading this book of yours. It feels like I've seen a whole artist retrospective. And
Right.
um, I remember going to MoMA to see some very famous impressionists retrospective, and it was all chronologically put up. And the first, when he first started out, when he was young, when he was 18, 19, the work was full of detail. And by the
Yeah.
time he's 80 years old, there's just one line. And you
Fantastic.
you you understand, but with the way that it was curated was so
Yeah.
well done. You understand the trajectory of how that one line came.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And somehow reading your book reminded me of that structure. I was like, I feel like I know how Jeet came to this book after all the books that he wrote. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Um,
No, I think you're absolutely right. Yeah. I think that's absolutely right. And that's the kind of perception only a artist will will formulate because uh,
that's
a
why
re-
after reading the first three pages, I started crying before anything even happened. It was the wedding descriptions, but I sensed something, you know. Um,
I mean, a reader would think that it's unconventional, it's like episodic, but the thing is, all of that is a choice, right? You're just kind of
what's
taking on.
unconventional? It's not unconventional. To me, it was not unconventional.
Yeah, I don't think so
I
either.
loved it. I loved it. I mean, it needed that structure.
Yeah.
Um,
What I'm reading,
wait, what is that? Is that me?
yeah,
Oh shit, don't show me that.
it's proof pages,
Ah,
and they,
where's your book? Where's your book?
it's been
Book is on the
it's
floor.
been typeset, and the pages have been art designed. So I'm just
I
checking. And
still think that you're a little mad and drunk to want to publish me, but anyway, this is, I have to be a little professional. I should try. Um, this is
no,
Jeet Thayil's current book, The Elsewherians. It's out in India right now, but it's not out anywhere else yet.
right, it's not, and might never be. Who knows?
Really?
Yeah, you never know.
You don't have a thing with anyone outside yet?
Not yet, no.
Hmm?
And I mean, you never know with these things, you know. It might never happen, and yeah, it's all right.
What they
I'll
haven't been
still
in,
write. I'll
they
still
have
write the next one.
Why no one's shown interest yet?
Not so far. Nope.
Eh?
Yeah.
Oh, what's weird about the publishing world now? And this, with social media, my brain is like become an omelet. I don't understand. I have to like really divorce myself from all of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Really, really helpful to separate yourself from that as much
It's
as you can.
Yeah, but I have to start writing my first novel, which I find terribly daunting because again, there's no structure in my head. I do not think chronologically at all, which
But your first book was a kind of a novel.
Well, Dia thought so, and she structured it that way. I
Yeah,
wrote them as short stories. I did not write them as a novel at all.
sure. But
Uh,
they're connected short stories. It's one
well,
voice.
when I first
Time.
wrote it, they were all different characters, but then Dia pointed out that they were all the same characters, and I was
Oh,
like, "You're
good one.
right." I was like, "Why am I spending so much time pretending that they're not the same
Right
person
on.
when they're exactly the same
Exactly.
person?" I think it's
Exactly.
just for the sake of publishing and marketing. They need to market it as a novel, connected story, interconnected, whatever. If
Yeah.
you I personally think of it as a collection of short stories. I don't give a shit if it's the same characters or not the same characters, but
Right.
if I tell people what it is, I tell them it's a collection of short stories. But I
But
mean,
when I think of a book like Jesus' Son, Dennis Johnson, it's a
really.
collection. It's his first book. Really slim, like 100 pages, or maybe not even 100 pages, and just brilliant. But the thing is, each one was published separately in magazines.
Hmm.
But it reads like a novel, and it's not chronological. There are different characters. The only thing that unites it is the voice of the narrator.
Hmm.
And
When you
that
started writing this,
same character.
did you have like a grand plan? Like, was there like a big architecture, or did you just have certain things?
I mean, originally there was a enormous architecture that basically fell apart, and I ended up taking out about 50,000 words from the original manuscript, and it became much tighter and I think much better, much better.
God, I mean the scenes where you're in Hong Kong, where somewhere where we're in Vietnam, like looking for your father's ex-lover. Oh my,
Yeah.
that's just riveting. That's just,
Oh, thank you.
and I don't understand how much you're toying with the reader, so I don't know how much you're playing with me or not, as to how
A
much is
lot.
fact and a lot.
Yeah.
So the lover is all made up.
No, I'm not going to go there, but I'm just
Okay.
going to say.
I think the lover is not made up. This is my theory. I think the pictures may be not real. This is
Nice. Well done. That's
my
incredible. Yeah.
thing, but I think all the things to do with your with the family are all real because there was an energy and there was a charge to it that felt very genuine. But when did you make this trip if it was real?
Oh, it was real, absolutely real. The trip is completely real. It was made in 2015, and I hired a car and a driver and an
Oh my
interpreter.
God, I thought so because I recognized the female in the
You
I
did?
I think so.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah,
saying 2015, I think I do.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's her. Yeah. And we drove from Saigon up to Hanoi, stopping at cities along the way. Each evening, we'd stop at a city and kind of, look around and get a sense of it, and then back in the car and off again until we got to Hanoi.
And what made you want to? It's so lovely. It's really like it's quite romantic to me. This is something I would do if I could walk normally. But what made you want to go find your dad's ex-lover? Like what was it? Something to do with your dad, obviously, but what?
Yeah, well, I had all his notebooks from when he was in Vietnam as a young journalist, and I'd always been captivated by those notes. And the thing is, he had told me that he had made those notes for a novel, and then the novel never happened. He never wrote that novel because
Was your
he just
dad a literary type?
very much, yeah, he had. I mean, I my education, my sentimental or unsentimental education came from his library. The first
It,
time I read poetry
that's
was
what I.
his library. The first time I read experimental prose or interesting fiction was from his library. He had Dylan Thomas and James Joyce, and
And when did he pass away?
this month on the 3rd of October.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought he had passed away a long time ago. Your mom passed away recently.
She passed away in January, on the 2nd of January, and he passed away on the 3rd of October,
It's
almost
almost like a
exactly
relief, like
nine
they're
months later.
together somewhere. I don't know, but again, their relationship is not, no relationship is perfect. And there's
Yeah.
a part where he tells you that he had an affair with he had a love interest somewhere else, and you were like, these are things that a child does not need to know about their parents.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, how do you reckon? I've always thought about it with my dad. I'm like, I wonder, or actually more than my dad, my dad is very, very, I think, committed. I often
Yeah.
wonder if my mother ever had an affair or if she ever wanted to.
Yeah.
Um, but
Well, if you wonder about that long enough, that's a book
it's not
or a
enough
story.
for me right now. I still try to figure her out as a person because she's so sort of this a woman from a particular era, so perfectly poised, the wife of someone who she has to be. But I'm like,
Yeah.
surely there's a human inside her. There has to be,
Has to be.
you
Of
know?
course.
There
Of
has to
course.
be. But she is trained from due to sociological ways and cultural blah 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 to be a
Yeah.
certain way. But that doesn't mean that she doesn't feel like a normal
Oh,
human
sure.
being. She's just
Right.
trained to dismiss it. So I always thought that if anyone between my parents had an affair, it would be my mother. Um, but
I mean,
no, I don't. My investigations are still where you were maybe 15, 20 years ago, still stuck with the self.
right. But I have to say that a lot of the Elsewerians is the imagination because there's no other way. I mean, for example, I knew that my mom, towards the end of her life, was a very committed and fierce Sudoku player
Hmm.
because I would see her doing that, every time, and she was very much into tennis. She fanatical follower of Roger, what's his name?
Yeah. Federer. I was an
Exactly,
ex-tennis player,
Federer.
right?
Huh?
I was an ex-professional tennis player when I was a junior.
For you. Yeah. So
Yeah,
what I
did
was
a
saying
little.
is you use those facts and you know that
I
these
don't think you
factoids,
mentioned that in your book, though, did you?
Sudoku, yeah, there's a whole
Not the tennis.
paragraph,
Certainly not.
not the
The tennis would
tennis.
have piqued my radar
No, I
immediately.
left the tennis out. But I watched her play Sudoku and I learned a little about it. And then I thought why I asked myself, why would she be at this point in her life when she was almost bedridden? Why was she so fiercely into Sudoku of all things? Because she'd never been into it earlier. She got into it and then she got into it in such a fierce kind of commitment to Sudoku. She did it every day as if she was playing the
I
stock market or
understand. I
something.
was a huge Sudoku addict myself, which I'm not anymore. But
I
so,
mean,
what was her reason? What
I tried to think about it and think about it from um, her head, from inside her head. And I thought that the reason would be that it was one way of having some control over the world at a moment where she had lost all control, including the ability to walk, you know,
Hmm.
without assistance. And kind of all these things had been taken from her, but here was somewhere where she was in absolute control. And she was a woman who basically, without her,
Also,
uh,
it makes you feel mentally very, very like because my father and I were big Sudoku players, and we
yeah,
used to compete against each other, like timing and all of that. And
yeah,
it really does do something to your brain cells and
it does.
it makes
It
you
keeps
feel,
you sharp.
you know.
Yeah.
I need to start. Actually, funnily you mention it, I should start doing that again.
The
Um,
thing about my mother is that, my father was the one who always had jobs and was always working.